Everybody, we're on the last live stream for the night. Let's get into it. We're gonna read 31 and 33 today. I want to see real quick. I know we checked before we ended, but yeah, they're not too long. We're reading until page 52, so that's roughly 5 pages ish, more like 4. So yeah, let's dive into it. I'm excited because I love the Bible so much. It's such a fun read. Real quickly, I need to find my hair tie because my hair is gonna be in my face. Did I leave it on my desk? Okay. Pardon me, guys. Let me get my hair tie. I lost them, and I don't like that. Dude, there's a white hair tie and I'm missing it. No, that's not a hair tie. That sucks. Found it. Alrighty, let's get into this. Chapter 31. The Lord commands Jacob to return to Canaan, and he departs secretly. Laban pursues him. They resolve their differences and make a covenant of peace. Laban blesses his descendants, and he and Jacob part company. And he heard the words of Laban's sons, saying, Jacob hath taken away all that was our father's, and of that which was our father's hath he gotten all this glory. And Jacob beheld the countenance of Laban, and behold, it was not toward him as before. And the Lord said unto Jacob, Return unto the land of thy fathers, and to thy kindred, and I will be with thee. And Jacob sent and called Rachel and Leah to the field unto his flock, and said unto them, I see your father's countenance, that it is not toward me, as but the God of my father hath been with me. And ye know that with all my power I have served your father. And your father hath deceived me, and changed my wages 10 times. But God suffered him not to hurt me. If he said thus, the speckled shall be thy wages, then all the cattle bear speckled. And if he said thus, the ring-straked shall be thy hire, and then bear all the cattle ring-straked. Thus God hath taken away the cattle of your father, and given them to me. And it came to pass at the time that the cattle conceived, that I lifted up mine eyes, and saw in a dream, and behold, the rams which leaped upon the cattle were ring-straked, speckled, and gristled. And the angel of God spake unto me in a dream, saying, Jacob. And I said, Here am I. And he said, Lift up now thine eyes, and see all the rams which leap upon the cattle are ring-straked, and speckled, and gristled. For I have seen all that Laban doeth unto thee. I am the God of Bethel, where thou anointest the pillar, and where thou vowedest a vow unto me. Now rise, get thee out from the land, and return unto the land of thy kindred. And Rachel and Leah answered and said unto him, Is there yet any portion of or inheritance for us in our father's house? Are we not counted of him strangers? For he hath sold us, and hath quite devoured also our money. For all the riches which God hath taken from our father, that is ours and our children's. Now then, whatsoever God hath said unto thee, do. Then Jacob rose up and set his sons and his wives upon camels, and he carried away all his cattle and all his goods, which he had gotten, the cattle of his getting, which he had gotten in Padanaram, for to go to Isaac his father in the land of Canaan. And Laban went to shear his sheep, and Rachel had stolen the images that were her father's. And Jacob stole away unawares to Laban the Syrian, and that he told him not that he fled. And so he fled with all that he had. And he rose up and passed over the river, and set his face toward the Mount Gilead. And it was told Laban on the third day that Jacob was fled, and he took his brethren with him, and pursued after him 7 days' journey, and they overtook him in the Mount Gilead. And God came to Laban the Syrian in a dream by night, and said unto him, Take heed that thou speak not to Jacob either good or bad. Then Laban overtook Jacob. Now Jacob had pitched his tent in the mount, and Laban with his brethren pitched in the Mount of Gilead. And Laban said unto Jacob, What hast thou done, that thou hast stolen away unawares to me, and carried away my daughters as captives, taken with the sword? Wherefore didst thou flee away secretly, and steal away from me? And didst thou not tell me that I might have sent thee away with mirth, and with songs, with tabret, and with harp? And hast not suffered me to kiss my sons and my daughters? Thou hast now done foolishly in so doing. It is in the power of my hand to do you hurt. But the God of your father spake unto me yesternight, saying, Take thou heed that thou speak not to Jacob either good or bad. And now though thou wouldest need to be gone, because thou sore longedst after thy father's house. Yet wherefore hast thou stolen my gods? And Jacob answered and said to Laban, Because I was afraid, for I said, Peradventure thou wouldest take by force thy daughters from me. With whomsoever thou findest thy gods, let him not live before our brethren. Discern thou what is thine with me, and take it to thee. For Jacob knew not that Rachel had stolen them. And Laban went into Jacob's tent, and into Leah's tent, and into the two maidservants' tents, but he found them not. Then went he out of Leah's tent, and entered into Rachel's tent. Now Rachel had taken the images, and put them in the camel's furniture, and sat upon them. And Laban searched all the tent, but found them not. And she said to her father, Let it not displease my lord, that I cannot rise up before thee, for the custom of women is upon me. And he searched, but found not the image. And Jacob was wroth, and chode with Laban. And Jacob answered and said to Laban, What is my trespass? What is my sin, that thou hast so hotly pursued after me? Whereas thou hast searched all my stuff, that what hast thou found all of thy household stuff? Set it here before my brethren and thy brethren, that they may judge betwixt us both. This 20 years have I been with thee. Thy ewes and thy she-goats have not cast their young, and the rams or thy flock have I not eaten. That which was torn of beasts I brought not unto thee. I bear the loss of it. Of my hand didst thou require it, whether stolen by day or stolen by night. Thus I was in the day, the drought consumed me, and the frost by night, and my sleep departed from mine eyes. Thus have I been 20 years in thy house. I served thee 14 years for thy 2 daughters, and 6 years for thy cattle. And thou hast changed my wages 10 times. Except the God of my father, the God of Abraham, and the fear of Isaac had been with me, surely thou hadst sent me away. Now empty God has seen mine affliction and the labor of my hands, and rebuked thee yesternight. And Laban answered and said unto Jacob, These daughters are my daughters, and these children are my children, and these cattle are my cattle, and all that thou seest is mine. And what can I do this day unto these my daughters, or unto their children which they have borne? Now therefore come thou, let us make a covenant, and I and thou, and let it be for a witness between me and thee. And Jacob took a stone, and set it up for a pillar. And Jacob said unto his brethren, Gather stones. And they took stones, and made an heap, and they did eat there upon the heap. And Laban called it Shaddutha, but Jacob called it Gilead. And Laban said, This heap is a witness between me and thee this day. And therefore was the name of it called Gilead. And Mizpah, for he said, The Lord watch between me and thee, when we are absent one from another. If thou shalt afflict my daughters, or if thou shalt take other wives beside my daughters, no man is with us. See, God is witness betwixt me and thee. And Laban said to Jacob, Behold this heap, and behold this pillar, which I have cast betwixt me and thee. This heap be witness, and this pillar be witness, that I will not pass over this heap to thee, and that thou shalt not pass over this heap and this pillar unto me for harm. The God of Abraham and the God of Nahor, the God of their father, judge betwixt us. And Jacob sware by the fear of his father Isaac. And then Jacob offered sacrifice upon the mount, and called his brethren to eat bread. And they did eat bread, and tarried all night in the mount. And early in the morning Laban rose up, and kissed his sons and his daughters, and blessed them. And Laban departed, and returned unto his place. Chapter 32. Jacob sees angels. He asks God to persevere from Esau, for whom he prepares presents. He wrestles all night with a messenger of God. Jacob's name is changed to Israel. He sees God face to face. And Jacob went on his way, and the angels of God met him. And when Jacob saw them, he said, This is God's host. And he called the name of that place Mahanaim. And Jacob sent messengers before him to Esau his brother, unto the land of Seir, the country of Edom. And he commanded them, saying, Thus shall ye speak unto my lord Esau, thy servant Jacob saith thus, I have sojourned with Laban, and stayed there until now. And I have oxen and asses, flocks and men servants, and women servants. And I have sent to tell my lord, that I may find grace in thy sight. And the messengers returned to Jacob, saying, We came to thy brother Esau, and also he cometh to meet thee, and 400 men with him. Then Jacob was greatly afraid and distressed, and he divided the people that was with him, and the flocks and herds, and the camels, in two bands, and said, If Esau come to the one company and smite it, then the other company which is left shall escape. And Jacob said, O God of my father Abraham, and God of my father Isaac, the Lord which saidest unto me, Return unto thy country and to thy kindred, and I will deal well with thee. I'm not worthy of the least of all the mercies and of all the truth which thou hast shewed unto thy servant, for with my staff I passed over this Jordan, and now I am become two bands. Deliver me, I pray thee, from the hand of my brother, from the hand of Esau, for I fear him, lest he will come and smite me, and the mother with the children. And thou saidest, I will surely do thee good, and make thy seed as the sand of the sea, which cannot be numbered for multitude. And he lodged there that same night, and took of that which came to his hand a present for Esau his brother, 200 she-goats and 20 he-goats, 200 ewes and 20 rams, 30 milk camels and their colts, 40 kine and 10 bulls, 20 she-asses and 10 fowls. And he delivered them into the hand of his servants, every drove by themselves, and said unto his servants, Pass over before me, and put a space betwixt drove and drove. And he commanded the foremost, saying, When Esau my brother meeteth thee, and asketh thee, saying, Who art thou, and whither goest thou? And whose are these before thee? Then thou shalt say, They be thy servant Jacob's. It is a present sent unto my lord Esau, and behold, also he is behind us. And so commanded he the second and the third, and all that followed the droves, saying, On this manner shall ye speak unto Esau, that when ye find him, and say, Yea, moreover, behold, thy servant Jacob is behind us. For he said, I will appease him with the present that goeth before me, and afterward I will see his face. Peradventure he will accept of me. So went the present over before him, and himself lodged that night in the company. And he rose up that night, and took his 2 wives, and his 2 woman servants, and his 11 sons, and passed over the ford Jabbok. And he took them, and sent them over the brook, and sent over that he had. And Jacob was left alone, and there wrestled a man with him until the breaking of the day. And when he saw that he prevailed not against him, he touched the hollow of his thigh. And the hollow of Jacob's thigh was out of joint, and he wrestled with him. And he said, Let me go, for the day breaketh. And he said, I will not let thee go, except thou bless me. And he said unto him, What is thy name? And he said, Jacob. And he said, Thy name shall be called no more Jacob, but Israel, for as a prince hast thou power with God and with men, and hast prevailed. And Jacob asked him and said, Tell me, I pray thee, thy name. And he said, Wherefore is it that thou doest ask after my name? And he blessed him there. And Jacob called the name of the place Peniel. For I have seen God face to face, and my life is persevered. And as he passed over Peniel, the sun rose upon him, and he halted upon his thigh. Therefore the children of Israel eat not of the sinew which shrank, which is upon the hollow of the thigh unto this day, because he touched the hollow of Jacob's thigh, and the sinew that shrank. We're almost done. Chapter 33. Jacob and Esau meet and are reconciled. Esau receives Jacob's presents. Jacob settles in Canaan, where he builds an altar. And Jacob lifted up his eyes, and looked, and behold, Esau came, and with him 400 men. And he divided the children unto Leah and unto Rachel, and unto the 2 handmaids. And he put the handmaids and their children foremost, and Leah and her children after, and Rachel and Joseph hindermost. And he passed over before them, and bowed himself to the ground 7 times, until he came near to his brother. And Esau ran to meet him, embraced him, and fell on his neck, and kissed him, and they wept. And he lifted up his eyes, and saw the woman and the children, and said, Who are those with thee? And he said, The children which God hath graciously given thy servant. Then the handmaids came near, they and their children, and they bowed themselves. And Leah also with her children came near, and bowed themselves. And after came Joseph near, and Rachel, and they bowed themselves. And he said, What meanest thou by all this drove which I met? And he said, These are to find grace in the sight of my Lord. And Esau said, I have enough, my brother. Keep that thou hast unto thyself. And Jacob said, Nay, I pray thee, if now I have found grace in thy sight, then receive my present at my hand. For therefore I have seen thy face, as I had seen the face of God, and thou wast pleased with me. Take, I pray thee, my blessing that is brought to thee, because God hath dealt graciously with me, and because I have enough. And he urged him, and he took it. And he said, Let us take our journey, and let us go, and I will go before thee. And he said unto him, My Lord knoweth that the children are tender, and the flocks and herds with young are with me. And if men should drive them one day, all the flock will die. Let my Lord, I pray thee, pass over before his servants, and I will lead on softly according to as the cattle that goeth before me, and the children be able to endure until I come unto my Lord unto Seir. And Esau said, Let me now leave with the sum of the folk that are with me. And he said, What needeth it? Let me find grace in the sight of my Lord. So Esau returned that day on his way unto Seir. And Jacob journeyed to Succoth, and built him an house, and made booths for his cattle. Therefore the name of the place is called Succoth. And Jacob came to Shalem, a city of Shechem, which is in the land of Canaan. When he came from Padanaram, and pitched his tent before the city, and he bought a parcel of a field where he had spread his tent at the hand of the children of Hamor, Shechem's father, for 100 pieces of money. And he erected there an altar, and called it Elohi Israel. I don't know how you say that. Elohi Israel, something like that. So they did make up. I'm so happy Esau and Jacob made up. Honestly, I've gotten that point where me and my brother get in arguments. My older brother, Chris, me and him would get in arguments a lot. We'd get in fights. One time during COVID, we got in a huge fight. He slammed my head into the corner of a wall, and he didn't mean to. He was just, and it was in a spur of the moment type of thing. He was angry, he pushed me, and kind of pushed me and forced my head into the wall, and it hurt. It really hurt, and I was angry. But the thing was, is I was a little a-hole, dude. Like, I would purposely try and make him mad, and I didn't really appreciate myself for that. Like, there's stuff I wish I could work on, but I was in the wrong moment in my life. I was not in the right mindset, and neither was he. And so we forgive each other. We don't talk to each other as much as we want to, or hang out with as much as I want to, but I do still love him, and I forgive him, and I still love people, and I forgive people. Like, I'm big on forgiveness and love. Like, obviously, you don't have to be acquainted with the person. Obviously, they need to go through conviction of themselves, but you're not the person that needs to give them that conviction, because you're just being a part of the problem. You're just as bad as them, to your wrongs don't make a right. Like two wrongs don't make a right. And in this situation, that's the same thing. Someone commits a sin, someone is wrong to you, and then you're wrong to them. That doesn't make that right. You know what I mean? That's where the forgiveness comes in. That's where I forgive you. I love you, and I hope you can overcome whatever you're going through. But I have to walk away, and I'm not going to be around you anymore. And that's when you just push them away. And then they'll realize, and that's what people did to me. They'll realize, and that's what I've done to people. And over time, they'll realize, oh, wow, I need to change. Or they'll know, I need to change, but I don't want to. I'm comfortable the way I am, and it's too hard to change, And at first I chose that path. Eventually I chose that path, and eventually I overcame it. But there's people that don't ever overcome that path. They always just stay that way. And it's sad because, they're too comfortable. They don't want to change. They don't want to overcome. They want to just stay that way. And so it sucks. And I really hope people can overcome that. And I really hope, as I read through the Bible, I can learn more about myself and more about my past, and how to overcome my past, and how to do better for my future. And I'm excited because already we've only been spending 11 days reading the Bible, and already I've been doing really well with my mental health necessarily, and my how I handle things, and it's beautiful. I love it. So I want to say these in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen. I hope everyone has a good night. I hope everyone has a good tomorrow, and we can start it off really well. I got some things to do. I'm behind on homework. I have an assignment due tomorrow that I need to do. It's not too much, hopefully, but yeah, I hope everyone can enjoy their night, and I love y'all. Thank you for whoever tunes in and supports me. I always love it. I also don't read chat when I'm live on anything, whether it's on Twitch, whether it's on Kick, whether it's on YouTube, because I use Streamlabs when I do my readings, and then when I'm on Xbox, when I'm playing games, I'm on Xbox, and I'd have to have my phone open with Twitch, and I don't feel like doing that because, one, it's tedious, it's too much, and with my setup, I can't really do that, so I'm waiting. So I really would love to see your guys' comments and what your guys' opinions on this, but right now I don't have the ability to. Eventually we will have it set up that way to where I can see your guys' opinions on this, where I can see your guys' thought processing, because I'd love to hear it. I'd love to see your guys' comments. And yeah, if you do have questions, if you do have stuff you want to share, I would say mark. So I remember what we were talking about. I'd say mark, do a timestamp of where you want me to look, and I'll look at it, and then we will go from there, and I'll talk to you about it. And that's if you're on YouTube. I don't know if you can do that on Twitch, but if you're on YouTube, I'm on YouTube. So check out my YouTube. And if you have a question about anything in my videos, timestamp it comment on the video with the timestamp, and then ask your question, and I'll try and answer it. However, I will not answer hate comments, and I will not debate you, and I don't do that because religion is not something you debate. Hate comments are not something you engage with. But if it's something you just want advice if it's something you just want to talk to or you're in agreement with it, I will answer that comment because, you know, that's what I'm trying to build my community over. But to debate a fool, it makes you a fool. Or to debate somebody on something that you believe in, to make them think it's real, to make them know it's real, is foolish. Like, I've always thought it was so foolish to debate. So, anyways, I love y'all. Have a good night. Thank you for tuning in.